Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and I am here to confess a failure of epic proportions. Actually it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's the new year. Oh, by the way, happy birthday Mr. Cinnamon. He turns 45 today, January 2nd. Happy birthday to you. Everybody wish Mr. Cinnamon a happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Let me do it in my best Marilyn Monroe. Happy birthday, Mr. Cinnamon. Happy birthday to you. Boo boo be doo. Oh, alright. Speaking of Mr. Cinnamon, this is Mr. Cinnamon's failure. This is his failure. This ain't mine. And so here's what happened. Alright. This was mid-November. And it was before the Black Friday sales. And Koigu, if you don't know about Koigu, you must be new here. Koigu is a Canadian woolery. They're a company. They have their own like beautiful barn. And they have their own sheep. And they make their own wool. And they all of their wools are hand painted in said barn. I've never been to Koigu's location. I learned about Koigu. There's hair on the camera. I learned about Koigu from Michigan Fine Yarns, which is in Livonia, Michigan. If you have never heard of Michigan Fine Yarns, go check her out and tell Swarren that I said hello. S-W-A-R-R-E-N, I believe. Swarren. I don't think I spelled that right. Anyway, she's fantastic. She is the shopkeeper, shop owner. She has an entire wall of Koigu in her shop. Her shop is fantastic. Best yarn shop I've ever been to. Hands down. And I've been to several across the country. Well, I can't say across the country. Mostly on the East Coast. I've been to yarn shops in Alabama, Tennessee, Virginia, obviously. Michigan. I feel like I'm missing a couple. Irregardless. Florida. No, I haven't been to one in Florida. It's all good. Anyway, back to Koigu. They released an advent calendar. I've always wanted an advent calendar. I want to do the daily opening up of yarns. Okay? And I was looking at Koigu's advent calendar and I didn't like the way it looked because it had extra, like I want an advent calendar that is yarn. I want to put it into a project. I want little mini skeins and I want to make them into something pretty. And I want to every day open up a new skein and crochet it, not knit it, into a project. Most of those advent calendars are like 200 bucks, which is not a horrible price. Okay? It's just not, it's not feasible for me because at Christmas time, I focus all of my money into Christmas for my family, not for myself. Now, with that being said, I was talking out loud. I was like, why? Why? Because they had these packs of these, which are the Koigu Origins. This one doesn't have a label on it. All right, here we are. Koigu Origins, which is mini. They're minis. This one specifically is Merino and Lincoln, which is a type of wool, type of sheep. 50 yards, okay? Hand wash, lay flat to dry because it's wool. Hand painted, each dye lot is an original painting. Dye code number has the same colors used. Alright, and then the dye lot and the dye code is on the little thing right there, right? Okay, so they had these on sale. I don't remember the price. I think it was like 6 for $30 some or somewhere around there, I believe. Not 100. This was in November, right? And I was saying out loud, like, okay, but their advent, this is nothing against Koigu. This is just the way my brain works, okay? Their advent calendar was over $100. I don't remember the price. But it was a lot of notions. I got a drawer full of notions. I do not need any more stitch markers. My daughter makes them. I do not need any more tape measures. I got like 15. I don't need scissors. I have scissors all over the house at this point because people keep stealing them and walking off with them. But I have a pair of scissors here. There's a pair of scissors in this drawer. There's a cutter in that drawer. Like, I have enough cutting utensils. I don't need, I have a supply. Matter of fact, they're all over here. Of my favorite darning needles. I don't need that. There's a lot of things I don't need. So an advent calendar, to me, I would want it to be all wool. Okay? So I'm saying out loud, like, okay, but they're having a 6-pack of these, which are beautiful. You don't get to pick the colors. And it's wool, and they're beautiful hand-painted little minis. 6 for, I don't know, I want to say 36. It might have been 39. It might have been 4. I don't know. I don't remember the price. Okay? Why couldn't you just put 2 of those together and have the 12 Days of Christmas for 60 bucks? Is what I'm saying. Instead of 120 or whatever the price was for the advent calendar, you're getting a bunch of like notions, right? So I said that, and then I looked at Mr. Cinnamon and I repeated myself out loud to him because I was speaking out loud, but I was talking to myself because I do that frequently. I mean, we're in here, I'm talking to myself right now. It's just what us podcasters do. We sit in a room and talk to ourselves. Now, I repeated it to Mr. Cinnamon because I was like, that would be so cool. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. He caught the hint and purchased 2 of the packs. At least I think there's 2 of the packs in here. I haven't actually counted them. Let me check the cameras. Hang on. The dogs across the street have been running amok today. Some lady's letting her dog pee on my mailbox and they are not happy. He's a big dog. Counter 1, counter 2. We're gonna let them bark for a minute because that dog has no business peeing on our mailbox. That's just infuriating to them. I actually planted a little garden around my mailbox at one time and I bordered it off, and so many people were letting their dogs pee there that it killed all the flowers, so I just took and stacked rocks there because rocks are easier to clean, and at least the dogs don't go climb on the rocks and take a poopies, which really irritates me. So yeah, there's just rocks there. Like it, my mailbox is now a grave. Alright, back to the Koigu. I'm going to actually count these in a minute because I don't know how many sets he bought me. Now, the intention was, because it looks like there's more than 12. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There's 18 in here. That tells me he bought 3 of them, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Because I don't remember any of this information at this point. And because he purchased this probably in November, I don't even know if they still have these on the website, but I will absolutely link them below. Not an affiliate link because I'm not affiliated with Koigu. I just really like their yarn. And I made a beautiful sweater. I keep looking over there. I must have put it upstairs. I made a beautiful sweater out of some of Koigu's yarn. Koigu, by the way, is also really affordable. They generally sell 50-gram skeins for, they used to be $11.99, but now they're like $15.99 because of inflation. But like, yeah, these are, what did I say these were? Oh, see, this one's Corriedale. This one's not even, so these are mixed, but they're called sample skeins. 50 yards. 50 yards. 50 yards. 50 yards. Corriedale. This one's 50 yards. It's Merino and Lincoln. Some of these are not marked at all. Some of them have the label on inside out. That's crazy. So yeah, it's a mix of, I'm going to say Corriedale, which is a type of wool, which I love, and Merino, and actually I think I feel the difference. Okay, so anyway, he bought me some with the idea he was going to make me an advent calendar, and he was going to wrap all these individually. I was going to open one a day and put them into a project, and we were going to do it. And I even announced on the channel, like, I have a plan coming up. I didn't say what it was because he discussed with me what he was going to do. I didn't see the yarn. I didn't know which yarn he picked out. Well, then he had to go out of town, and you guys will probably remember the rest of the story. He went out of town and forgot that he was going to do this, and then it was almost 12 days till Christmas, because we were going to do the 12 days till Christmas. And then we're in Charlottesville. It's not like it's far out of town, but we're 2 hours away from the house. And I told him I saw things popping up like, oh, today's the 12th day, 12 days from Christmas, you know. And he's all, oh man, I forgot to do the thing. And I was like, yeah, well, don't worry about it. And then I think it was that night or the night after that, we got the call about the car accident, and kind of like, it's been chaotic since then. And so there's just been, it never happened. Like, he never wrapped them as an advent. He never put them together as an advent. Instead, he wrapped it as just a present and put it under the Christmas tree, which is fine. But it was a huge fail in the fact that we were going to do a whole advent together, and we were going to open it, and we were going to have, and it affected that I had to come up with videos a little bit, but that's not a big deal, because I mean, coming up with videos is not actually that difficult. Sometimes I have block and I'm like, I don't know what to do, and then I open yarn on that day because I'm like, oh look, I bought yarn. So that's not a big deal to me, but this was supposed to be an advent calendar. With that being said, we're going to go through and look at all the colors. And like I said, some of these are not actually labeled, because now that I'm seeing, they probably just had a bunch of samples and they just threw them in a bucket, which is fine, and I am happy with that. There is quite a few that look like this. So I think this one's slightly different. And then there's quite a few that look like this. Actually, these two look slightly different than those three, but like I said, he told me that he thought they were all the same. They're not. And then he was looking at them, and then, yeah. So these four look alike. This one's different. And then these 5 look alike, but these two are actually different than this one. I will show you in detail up close. And then, you know, I'm not going to be upset about these ones, because these are my favorite style. I love. And these all look slightly different. This one's much darker. This one looks closer to this one than these two, but these two look the same. And then this one kind of looks like these. So we'll put that with that one. Yep, so there's 3 and 3 of those. And then there's these 4. Now, I think Mr. Cinnamon was feeling kind of some kind of way, because he's all, I know that it looks like they're all the same color. And I was like, do you not understand how yarn works? It doesn't matter. Like, the more yardage, the bigger the project, right? You understand that. He did not get it. So if I have 3 of this and 3 of this, these can go in a project together. And I could just, now we got 6 that go in a project. And because these are 50 yards each, we have 2, 4, 6. We have 600 yards here. Right? But also, then we have these, which this one is definitely different. All right, I'm just going to go through. I'm going to show you. Okay, so this one looks like the other 3, but it's not. This has orange. I mean, it's fun, like circusy. This is one of the ones that's not labeled. It has the color. That number is the, let me look at the other one. The die code is the first part and the die lot is the second part. So die code and then die lot. All right, and this one looks like that. And this is wool. I can feel that it's wool. And Koigu is a little bit, it's toothy. It's not prickly. So there's, you can feel that it's wool. It's not silky, buttery, but I like working with it because I like the way it feels. I like the way it feels on my hook. I like the way it feels working up. I like the way the final fabric feels. It is not a super fine, super wash merino that is just buttery soft. It's not. But it's not rough wool. Okay? So, I love it. I have skin sensitivities. It does not... if I'm going to say this, I'm going to be real blunt about this. If I use it for a long period of time, in between my fingers feel a little bit raw. But I also have a lot of skin condition issues. I have an autoimmune disorder that actually attacks my body through my hands and my feet specifically. I have a type of eczema that causes blisters and my skin to actually rip open. I have like just natural dryness in my hands and my feet. And so when I'm telling you that I can use a wool, it's because with all of those things, I can't use Red Heart Super Saver at all. And I say these things to inform you of this is where my opinion is coming from. Your opinion might vary way more than mine, okay? You might hate wool. You might not be able to use wool because you're allergic to lanolin. There's a lot of reasons, but all of that is okay. You know, we're all different. But I say that for those of you who say, hey, I trust Cinnamon Stitch because I got the same problem she's got with my skin, and I know that I can use this yarn. So just keep that in mind. There is slight irritation after long wear, but it is what it is. All right, so then we got 3 of these. Here is the numbers. Because you can reverse look up the, come on. You can reverse look up. Are you gonna give me problems? There we go. By the numbers. And there's 3 of these. These are really pretty. And I have a navy blue, this color, that would go beautifully mixed in, blended with these from Koigu. I have a whole collection of Koigu. Aside from Premier Yarns and Big Twist from Joann's, the biggest amount of any one type of yarn that I have is from Koigu. So I'm just going to say that. Because Koigu is affordable, it's beautiful, and you know, I just really like it. Alright, and then we have these 2 which look alike, so we'll start with the lighter one. Feeling very congested today. That's the number. This is what they look like. This is very pinky purpley. And I'm fairly confident my Koigu is right around the corner. Hang on. Yes, I do in fact have pinkies and purples that will go with this. So, isn't that pretty? And there's that. 3 of those, and then there's 3 of these. These are not my favorite, but I think if I mix these with a solid that really makes these pop, I think it will be very beautiful. But these ones are a little on the dull side for me. And these are the Corriedale. They're Corriedale, there's the number. 100% Corriedale. Which I happen to really like Corriedale. I have some Corriedale. I have dyed Corriedale to spin, but I also have bare Corriedale to dye and then spin. So I could even make my own yarn to go with this or blend with this. Isn't that pretty? Alright, and also I really think that these would go together, and I think mixing these together would make this more palatable to me. So if we did this type of deal. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And then we have 2 of this one, and this one is, that's the number. And this is what it looks like. It is a white base with just pastel rainbow speckles painted on. Now if you go to Koigu, K-O-I-G-U on Facebook, they show how they make this yarn. They take and wrap it around these big, they look like bingo baskets is what it reminds me of. It's like this big thing like this. They wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap. And they spin it around and they paint on it. And that's how they make these. And then they cut them down into 50 grams usually, or these are 50 yards, but they cut them down into smaller skeins off of one big giant, I forget what they call it, but they also occasionally will sell just the big giant hank, the Super Bowl or something like that. And then this one is slightly different. So see, this is the first one I showed you. This one's slightly different. It just looks a little darker, so it could be, let's see, it could just be, see, this one says 33 yards. And the other ones say 50. Let's see. CR1, yeah, these are the same. Okay, these are the same colorway. It's a different dye lot. So, dye lot is important here, folks. Same colorway, different dye lot. Isn't that crazy? These 2 are the same dye lot. These 2 are the same dye lot. Same colorway, though. I like this one. This is so pretty. All right, then we have the 4 blues, which I totally see going in a fade project together, right? All right, so actually, and these, one is Corriedale. What is this one? So this one is natural wool. This one's Corriedale. They do feel different, but I don't care. This one, what is this one? This one has a tag too. This one's Corriedale. This one is not marked. All right, so we have more. This is the Lincoln Merino one. This is a darker, richer, got grays and blues and yellows and all that fun stuff. And then next we have this one, which is more oceanic colors, which is greens and blues. But because there's green in this and blue in this, it's a fade technically. Then we have this one, which is more white with blues and grays. So it goes with this one because this one has grays in it. And then this one, of course, is the last of the fade, which has a little bit of purple in it. But it's gray and blue, a little bit of purple. Can you see that in a project? It would be just so beautiful. So that is the entire Advent calendar. That was a failure, but it really wasn't, because I still got beautiful yarn for Christmas. And even though it wasn't a full project, and honestly at this point in my life I don't have a plan for these, because I started with the Fredericksburg Farms. So I'll just give you a hint. I'm working all these colors into one project. So I'm doing with the Fredericksburg Farms what I was initially going to do with the Advent, which is I'm just making a version of the Spring Fling t-shirt that we made with cotton yarn, except I'm making it with wool. And so if you want to make a t-shirt along with me, that is an option. It is a tutorial here on the channel, always available for you to watch at any time. You really could make any of those things and I will be happy. Or you can just continue on making the cardigan that you started, and you know, we got a lot going on the channel. Oh, that's so pretty. I just saw some. I made this. I made this. That's my hand spun wool, which is not nearly as soft as the Koigu, but it's fine. We'll discuss that one on Monday. But I looked over at it and I was like, oh, she's pretty. You ever just look at your yarn and go, you look real good today. I think we're going to play together. You're coming on my hook or my needles. Yes, sir. So, yeah. Failure, yes, because we didn't get to do the Advent, but it's going in stash with the rest of my Koigu, and it will, and I actually have some more of these sample sizes. I have more of the Corriedale, I have more of the Lincoln, because Mr. Cinnamon last Christmas bought me some too, so I have a huge stock of this. And I have no idea where I put it, but it's probably in the Koigu shelf. So we have lots and lots of options to make another amazing multicolored project. And I know some of you think that my projects are just weird because I mix all kinds of random color. I mean, you can look in the background, like there's just color back there. And I know that some of you are like, oh, I do things all in one color. Specifically, like the high-end yarns, okay? Every time I'm following a little yarn shop and they post something that one of their people have made in their shop with their yarn, you know, oh, look at this sweater that Jan made. Look at this sweater that Anna made. And it's always like they're beautiful, intricate sweaters with lots of detail, okay? Some of them are just plain, but it's always all one color. And they're beautiful. They are beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. That looks like that was a really expensive sweater that somebody bought from a high-end store. But mine don't look like that. Because I don't want it to look like I got it from a store. I want it to look like, wow, look what she made. I want you to know without a doubt that that was made. That was made. That was made. That was made. And that's why, and I also really love color. And I don't care. When I was in high school, I had this best friend named Laura. And she was very, very competitive with me. And there was always like this underlying competition. She was not a real good friend, but she was a friend. And she always wore very, I call them churchy clothes because her mom was very churchy. They were very, very, like, everything in their life revolved around God. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But her clothing was very churchy, very dull, boring. And I came along like tie-dye threw up on me because I just did not care. I like color. Color makes me feel good. It makes me happy. And I had a black face. I wore all black all the time because I tried to hide behind the black. I tried to hide my body because I was ashamed. I tried to hide my body because I was fat shamed so harshly my entire life. And so I tried to hide behind the black. And then one day I was like, you know what? I just like color. So I had this one particular outfit that I bought from Kmart, and I don't know if I have a picture of it, but it was a short and t-shirt set that I bought and then I made Laura buy because it was colorful. It was like somebody just threw neon paints all over it. Like it was very rainbowy and bright, and it was just a t-shirt and a pair of shorts that matched. And she bought it, and she very rarely wore it because it was not her style at all, which is fine. And I'm over here, I wore it every couple of days. I was like, yep, look at me in my color. As I'm just wearing the dullest blue shirt ever right now, but you guys already know. I like throwing a bunch of colors together and making something that not only stands out in a crowd. I also have colored hair, so although I need to freshen up the pink and the purple a little bit. Mr. Cinnamon should be able to see me from across the theme park, like, you know, and my clothes. Same thing. Like, let's throw as many colors we can into a garment, and when you see the shirt I'm working on now, it's going to be very, very colorful. It's going to glow under black light. This is the mild of the four skeins. These are the dulls. Is real bright. And some of you already got a sneak peek of that because I did post a photo of it in the Facebook group where I started off the project. It's going to be so beautiful and bright and just colorful, and every row is a different color, and it's just the way that the yarn worked out. I was like, every row is a different color. I'm tired. I'm gonna shut up because apparently I'm getting long-winded. I'm making myself sleepy. I'm gonna go edit these videos and I'm gonna get back to working on said shirt. But yeah, don't be afraid to do sample packs like this. Don't be afraid to try and put a bunch. And I know a lot of people say, I don't know how you mix color together. I wish I could mix colors like you do. Seriously, just put colors next to each other, and if you like the way it looks, do it. It doesn't matter. That's how I do it. I just throw colors together, and if it works out, it works out. That's how I pick colors. I look at them like, dude, I like these two colors together. Yes, indeed, they will go together. Like this, for example. Doesn't have to make sense, you know. I think hot pink would be beautiful mixed in with that. Orange even. Look at your favorite sports teams, mix colors in with that. Look at things in the world. And if you can look at a poster, I got a poster up behind you guys for a movie. Okay, on the poster is purple and yellow and orange and red and green and brown. And then there's a little color bar at the bottom over here. I'll take a picture of the color bar. And you can't tell me that anybody in their right mind is going to grab those colors and put them together in a project. But it works. And it's on a poster to prove that it looks beautiful together. So, I also don't know if you know that you can do this. You can take a photograph of something, and a lot of dyers actually do this. They'll take a picture of something that they take off the internet, or they'll go out to the garden and stamp a picture of flowers. And you grab it, and there's a software that you can use called Color Picker. And there's also apps called like Color Bar or something like that. And what you do is you use the color picker and you touch something in the image, like the yellow, and then you touch the bar in the color bar, and it will automatically say that that color is, and all colors have a code for like printing purposes. And so, or dyeing purposes, okay? So I'll take the code of that color, yellow is whatever. They put the code, and then they drop the color of what it determines that color is into the color bar. And you go to another part of the picture, and you pick that, and you select it, and you put it down, and you click in the bar, and it will put it in the bar, and it will have what I just showed you. That's a color bar. There's software that do that. You just have to look for it on your phone, like look, search color bar or something like that. And you can mix colors doing that. You don't have to just use the color wheel. The color wheel is so like restrictive. Oh, you need to do this and this, and the colors need to be next to each other, or the colors need to be diagonal from each other, or like they need to be opposites of. No, they don't. They really don't. If you like the way it looks in nature, like the royal purple of a flower with like the dark green fern next to it, or the baby green fern next to it, and then oh, somebody dropped a bright yellow toy in there, and it just like that yellow made like the whole scene pop in your eyes and drew your attention to it. If your attention is drawn to something in nature, or in, even if you're walking down the sidewalk in like a big city and like there is something that draws your attention, take a photo of it and use those colors of the things that's drawing your attention together in a project. The same thing will happen, is your eye will be drawn to those colors in real life when you put the project together. It just will. Literally, go to the store, grab a bunch of different colors that you think are pretty, and like set them next to each other. If you look at it and you go, I like the way that looks, put it in a project together, it will work out. That's what I do. I don't overthink it. If you like it, that's all that matters. Who cares what other people think of your projects? I don't care. So, with that in mind, I mean, obviously, if you're making something for someone else, stick to colors you know that they love, that they wear a lot. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Check out Koigu. I will link them below.